Hey Connection Point, I am so excited for a bold new vision that God is giving us as a church as we step forward into the future. We're going to be unpacking this vision during 4 weeks following Easter. And every week between now and greater things, I want to talk a little bit of how God has been working in the last year so you can be preparing your hearts, praying with us as we look ahead to what God has in store for us in the future. Hey, as we build anticipation and get excited for this bold vision that God's going to unveil for us after Easter, we're going to keep pausing and looking back to see God's faithfulness. Let me tell you about a few opportunities that came our way in the last year that we actually had to say no to. We had multiple churches approach us, churches that had a facility and a building, but either their congregation had gotten too old in age or financially they were upside down, and they said, would you take over our facility and make it another site of Connection Point? Now that's an exciting idea, but Scripture says to count the cost before you build the tower. So in each of those cases we looked, and there was debt on those facilities. They needed to be updated to be to our standards of gathering people in and connecting them to Jesus, and because of where we're at financially right now, we decided that the answer was no for now. But here's the good news. I know that God's going to continue to open doors of opportunity for us. It might be physical facilities like that someday, but it might be something else entirely. Here's the thing. We as a church want to be in a place where we are ready to say yes when God brings us an opportunity to connect more people to Jesus and each other. Now, when I said we weren't in a place financially to take on these other sites, what did I mean? Well, here's what I mean. Connection Point is in a great position financially. We have very healthy reserves in the bank for what you'd call your emergency savings account for your house. We've got a great facility here. And this facility, I have to say, is being used by God every day to reach thousands of people for Jesus. Now, here's where we're at with this facility. Much like your home, most likely, we have a mortgage on it. And the mortgage on this facility is in a healthy position. The amount of debt that we owe on this facility is not an unhealthy amount of debt for an organization of our size. However, as we dream into the future, we're thinking this: what if we were to pay down that debt so that we were in a position to really do bigger and bolder things for God in the future? I just want you to be aware as you prepare for the Vision series to understand where we're at. That we're in a very good position financially, but we do have, with this very big facility, a mortgage debt that goes along with it. Would you start preparing your hearts and thinking and praying with me to say, God, how can we be faithful with what you've already given us? Jesus taught this. He said, if you're faithful with little, you'll be faithful with much. In other words, we want to be as faithful as we can be with what God has already given us. That includes this facility, before we bite off more than we can chew or get into the next thing. And here's what I know. It's a law of spiritual physics. If we're faithful with what He has given us, He will open doors of opportunity and trust us with even more in the future. Connection Point, thank you for stepping out to build this facility. Thank you all of you who've given along the way and all of you who give consistently so that we can manage and steward this facility well. I'm excited to share with you the vision of even greater things in those 4 weeks after Easter.